Over the last few months, we've had a lot of information regarding Isonzo, and they've come out through the WW1 Game Series dev blogs, which you can get via Reddit and Discord. So what I plan to do is break down the information that we've got so far into what I believe is the best bits. I hope you enjoy. Now, the first thing we should look at today is the potential release date of June 30th. Now, it should be noted here, massively noted, that this is just a provisional release date which has been set by retailers. Now, the reason they have a retailer set date for the game is because this will be the first WW1 Game Series game that is actually in physical copy, which is really interesting. We've never had that before, and that's really good for some people because some people hate buying digital copies. Obviously, it won't matter for you PC players, but for us on console, this it's quite a big thing. But that 30th of June release date is, take it with a pinch of salt, and just like any release dates given to us by the M2H Studios or the WW1 Game Series devs, we need to take it with a pinch of salt because they're usually not too accurate, and things do change, especially in this current climate. What's also interesting about this game as well is that there's going to be different levels of the game. So, for example, we're going to get a deluxe edition, we're going to have a collector's edition, and then we're going to have a base game. So I'm going to go through that now briefly. So the base game for now is going to cost £24.99, but it should be noted that there is a pre-order bonus for the base game, and it's called the Avanti Savoia Pack, I think, which has 10 cosmetic items in. But they do say actually in this dev blog that even though this cosmetic pack only has 10 items, regular cosmetic packs that will be in the game will have up to 30 items, I think, so that's important to remember. The second edition they're going to release is the Deluxe Edition. Now this is going to cost £33.49, and it includes 2 cosmetic packs, which I'm not sure if that's going to be your 30 cosmetic pack or a 10 cosmetic pack. It doesn't really state, but it's got collectible items such as wallpapers and soundtracks. Some people love that type of stuff. Personally, I'm not really too arsed about any shit like that. And then finally, the third edition of the game will be the Collector's Edition, £49.99, which is quite expensive, quite pricey. And this includes all content which you see in the Deluxe Edition, plus 4 cosmetic packs, including Elite and Alpine unit packs. So obviously it's more specific to, by the sounds of it, the better units that are in the game, so that might be good for you guys who like your cosmetic items. For me, that price is pretty expensive. You're looking at nearly £50, which is almost a full price for a AAA game these days. I think in fact AAA games are up to £60, so it's about £10 off. But the base game price is good, £24 or £25. I think that's a decent price for this game. I would pay that price for Verdun happily. Maybe not Tannenberg, but this game looks different. They've got more into this game, so I'm hoping that price tag's going to be good. So we've looked at cosmetic packs within the game and how much they're going to cost, or how many items you're going to get in those packs, but we don't actually know what type of items we're looking at here. So we're going to go into that now. So basically, from what I can tell, is uniforms and headgear are going to be customizable, but they're going to be linked to specific classes. So what this means is you're going to be able to customise your uniforms and things, but not so far as that you can't actually recognise what faction they're playing for. So it's sort of attaining that realism and factual accuracy, which, to be fair, WW1 game series do very well. But facial items such as moustaches and maybe glasses or something are going to be more universal items, so they'll bring the individuality to the class, which is good. You don't want them to alter history too much, and I think that's where a lot of historical games go wrong, where they do too much customization to the point where it just looks awful. It doesn't even look realistic, and it doesn't even feel like a historical game. And these items are going to be unlocked through a progression system, which give you hundreds of cosmetic combinations according to the dev blog. Now that's all well and good. I think that's good for some people. I think a lot of people love the customizable stuff. I'm not really too bothered personally, but they do note that item packs will give you even more combinations. Now item packs obviously will have to be purchased separately. It's a little in-game purchase which you can have. As I've said many times before, I don't really like in-game purchases, but at least at the end of the day, this game is only £25, so it's not your full price £60 game where they then want you to spend more on things that affect the gameplay. At least these cosmetics won't actually affect the gameplay, so overall it's not too bad, and again, it's personal preference if you want to buy them or not. Now, another big thing that's been released in the dev blogs is the use of artillery. So mortars are being introduced into the game, and most notably the M14 and Betica mortar. Now, obviously, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I'm not sure. I can't remember what type of mortar it was. I can't remember if it was Hungarian or Italian. I need to reread the dev blog on that. But this is a major thing for a lot of us. The amount of streams I've done in the past and comments we've had that people want to use artillery. They want to actually physically use artillery on the field. Now, it's one thing being able to call it in on Verdun when you can, if you're playing as the the NCO you can call in your artillery, but it's another thing actually firing the artillery yourself, and it's going to bring a complete new element into the game. So they're going to be positioned like the fixed machine guns in Tannenberg and accessible to any player. But of course, you'd probably want to work in a team. I think mortars, they may only require one player, but to actually be effective with them, you'd probably want to play in a team, maybe have a spotter or something like that. So that's really good. And what that does is, again, it's been immersive. It's bringing in the immersion. It's bringing a new element into the game, but it's also trying to push that team play element. It's something that we don't see in many shooters these days, especially on consoles. So to have that extra element where people need to work together to get accurate mortar fire is going to be fantastic. I'm really pleased about this one. This is probably one of the best things I've seen yet in the dev blogs, the use of artillery. Another thing the dev blogs show is how in-depth these maps are going to be on Isonzo. Now, Verdun, we have decent maps, but I wouldn't say they're too in-depth, and I think Tannenberg steps it up a bit in the terms of how good the maps are and how in-depth they are. But from what we've seen from trailers and the images, Isonzo goes the extra mile. And in particular, the Mount Sabatino reveal shows that Isonzo maps are going to be very unique, visually stunning and immersive. And this is through sort of the use of, they've got really rugged mountaintops in some of the images and some of the maps. They've got tunnels, they've got trenches, buildings, bridges, but then they've also got the potential for destructible objects and environments. Now, those environments and objects, they're not confirmed to be destructible, but from the images we've seen bridges being blown up, which would be amazing to see in a live gameplay. It'd be absolutely amazing to see that sort of level of destruction going on. But we also know that one of the game modes requires a demolition team and demolition squads which are put in the game, and that you have to blow things up. So you assume that we're going to see some live destruction and maybe some destructible environments, which would be amazing. And we won't have seen anything like that in any of the games so far, so this will be a next level thing. But it's also a really important thing for a war game. You want to see that sort of destruction, or large scale destruction. It just brings the immersion. So that was my very basic rundown of the dev blog best bits, well, what I think is the best bits. But there's a lot of information out there, and you can access it via Discord and the Reddit, and it's definitely worth a read. They've got honestly, there's so much information they've put out in the last 3 months. It's definitely worth a look. I also want to say that this game does excite me a lot, and it's probably the most excited I've been for a game since Tannenberg. And I think it's important that we should be supporting as best as we can our indie games and our smaller studios, especially at a time where AAA studios have been really shit with consumers. So I really do hope this game turns out to be as good as I'm hoping, although you should never have your expectations too high. Thanks for watching.